So it's tax time, and there's a lot of people who have already filed, and they've been noticing that they have not been getting as much in tax returns as they had last year. Now, that's despite, of course, the GOP's massive tax cuts. Well, now wait a minute. Now, one of the problems of the tax cuts, this is a middle class tax cut. The Republicans said it's not going to help the rich. It's not going to affect them. We're going to cut their loopholes, but we're going to lower their rates, and they're going to end up being revenue neutral. It's really going to be a middle class tax cut, right? Well, now, how did that work out? Well, it turns out that a lot of people are enraged because they have seen their taxes go up. Now, one Fox News host, however, doesn't agree with that and believes that he has an explanation. Watch.
Average tax returns, so far 10% of American households have filed their taxes, and so far the average refund is down more than 8% this year.
Yeah, I mean, apparently tax people who really do this focus on it say the biggest problem, the main problem is people are not adjusting their paycheck withholdings. They got all these different taxes and they came through with the same paycheck withholdings. Most experts say 2/3 of Americans will indeed have a nice significant tax cut. Only 6% will pay higher
Obviously,
taxes.
there's going to be political consequences there, of course, because there's that tie.
It could be if there's disingenuous reporting on it. You know, if we drill down further like you and I are doing, people will know that
Maybe
it's
we'll
not.
do that this week, Charles Payne. We've got to leave it there.
Oh, man.
Oh man, yeah, you sound really upset about that. Oh, I don't get to drill down and show how I'm actually not being honest about this. Oh, darn. Ah, it's too bad. I really wanted to show how I'm a complete fraud. No, most people did not get a massive tax cut. Look, the people he runs with, the fellow millionaires, and they got a tax cut, but that's because they're rich. Middle class barely got a tax cut. In fact, in some places, their taxes went up. Like, for example, New York, LA, San Francisco. A lot of the states that actually have a state income tax. Well, one of the changes in the tax cut was actually the fact that you can't deduct that anymore. So there are a lot of people in places where there is a higher state tax that you can't deduct from your federal taxes anymore. That, of course, made your tax bill go way up. So, and to that, he says, oh, no, you just need to adjust your withholdings. It's not the fact that you didn't get a tax cut and that all the benefits went to the incredibly wealthy. No, it's your fault. You did it. No, wait a minute. If you're withholding taxes, if you're withholding more or having them withhold more to get a bigger tax return, well, then that's not a tax cut. They're just taking more out of you. And then you're overpaying, and then they send you the difference. Now, if you're withholding less and you're getting a smaller return, but you're having bigger paychecks, as is, what happens, well, that's also not a tax cut. And and there's possibility that you could pay in, too, if you adjust your withholding too little. No, here's what's going on, right? The middle class tax cut is so small that it's nearly imperceptible. I mean, let me give you an example. When this passed, you had former Speaker Paul Ryan, who shared an image of a school teacher's paycheck, right? Now, she's like, oh, I'm saving $1.50 a week. $1.50. This is a regular person school teacher, right? He bragged about it. It's $1.50. Now, you had over 90% of all beneficiaries of Trump tax cuts saving hundreds, tens of thousands a year, right? These are rich people and corporations, multinationals, and they've saved a ton of money. I think the average was about $63,000 per year or more. And of course, as I said, the loopholes, yeah, they got rid of loopholes, but most of them were for the middle class. Also, they could, of course, ram this thing through using parliamentary tricks. The main one, of course, was budget reconciliation, right? It's not the media's fault for accurately reporting that the American people have not gotten what they were promised. And this is nothing more than rich people on Fox News doing damage control. Look, their own poll found that 70% of Americans want to raise taxes on rich people making over $10 million a year. They want to do a marginal tax rate of 70%. 65% in that same poll wants to raise taxes on people making over $1 million a year. Taxing the rich turns out it's kind of a slam dunk. Even for Fox News viewers, even for conservatives that overwhelmingly agree that, yeah, we should tax the rich more, we should tax them fairly. Look, Fox News, though, you got to understand, Fox News, and let's be fair, CNN, MSNBC, they're old, gigantic corporations. And not only that, but their anchors make over like millions of dollars a year. So what they're going to do is that they're going to go out, they're going to lie, and they're going to defend low taxes for themselves. They're going to blame you. They're going to blame other members of the media for lying and say, oh, no, you took these tax cuts out of context. No, it turns out you saved a lot, but, or you would have saved a lot if you would have adjusted your withholdings. That's not a tax cut. That's basically blaming the victim of this massive theft. That's what this is. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.